Yeah, please do ask a question.
I'm curious, and again, this is not on our question list, but as a
Sure.
as a budding therapist, I want to do the best job I can for somebody from the Arab American community. And because of all the reasons we've just discussed, the trust level, I mean, I have no problem with that, but it's easy for me. I'm just
Right.
some guy. But for them to have
Well,
the guts to come in and open their heart to some
uh,
old white guy.
I think that, no, I don't think you're going to have a big problem with that. I really don't. I think there is an appreciation for doctors. First of all, I think it's still true that in spite of all of this, Arab Americans know this is a really great country to live in spite of everything, even during this era. Not just economically. I think most people are able to live as they want and do what they want and be treated decently by their neighbors, and the problems are more the exception than the rule. Those of us who've lived in Europe and the United States, I think, appreciate that it's a lot harder in Europe to avoid racism. The racism is different, but it's much harder to shift. Americans tend to harbor all kinds of strange stereotypes, but they tend to treat people as an individual based on their interactions with you and very quickly relate to you as, and maybe they think you're the exception. It doesn't really matter. You'll tend to be treated decently overall.
That's a very
And
that's interesting.
so, I think people are still enthusiastic about
Okay.
being in the United States and believe that we're living through a protracted period of difficulty, but that no one's clamoring to leave, right? And people still would like to come here. So that's the first thing. I don't think people expect to encounter negativity. I think they're ready for it and they do encounter it, but I think they expect not to. And for the most part, they do not. Thirdly, there is a very strong tradition of appreciating medicine and respecting professionals. And, so I don't think you're going to have a great deal of difficulty winning people are going to come in trusting you, okay, and assuming you mean well. Now, you could lose them pretty easily if you start, um, waving red flags in front of them.
Yes, yes.
But if you treat them respectfully and understand that you're just dealing with another American who has similar problems, but maybe with some extra ones, I don't really think you're going to have a lot of difficulty. And they'll have, they may bring in sets of issues that you're not very familiar with that have to do with trauma or anxiety or stress or something that comes out of situations you don't know much about. But you do know about those syndromes. And so if you're open to hearing about their experiences, I think human reactions are pretty similar, in conflict situations, in violent situations, situations of instability, domestic or social, in oppressive situations. I don't think you'll have a huge